Was even talk at one point. I remember going to lunch with the then president of Fox, and he asked me like if there was one character from the show you could spin off into their own series, who would it be? And without thinking, I mean, without hesitation, I said, "Oh, Apu." And and then he said, "Well, who plays Apu?" I said, "Well, Hank Azaria." And he goes, "Oh, he'll be too expensive. What?
Yeah.
Who else?" I was like, I don't know what he expected me to say. Like,
It's right though. The Apu character is so beloved, and it's such a shame that he's just been
Mm.
sidelined now. For obvious reasons, like I get it, but I don't. But he was such a cornerstone when it comes to the secondary characters. He was one of the pillars.
he was it was one of my favorite characters because, and when they talked about the network brought up spinoff, the reason I thought of him is because he has a completely different take on America
Yeah.
than The Simpsons. I mean, he actually is the embodiment of the American dream. He
That's right.
came here, nothing. He works literally 24 hours a day. He's the hardest worker. He appreciates the country in a way that we take for granted.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say all the things that people take for granted. He respects and loves it for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, like did I understand when the issue was brought up? Yeah, I understood it from a kind of a, job opportunity level playing field thing of like, oh yes, if we were putting this character in later in the show, we would have opened the casting up. But the and you've probably heard this, the one of the things that studios love about animation is casting wise, you're trying to find people who can do as many characters as possible.
Sure.
So you're not paying 50 actors every episode. And that's how a lot of these decisions got made. What I loved about, Hank's portrayal of the character is I thought there was there was nothing like mocking about it. I thought he gave the character great humanity, and which is why we leaned on him so heavily, that character. And so I had my own feelings about that, documentary that I'm not speaking for the show. I'm just speaking strictly for myself. Yeah, well, to
Mm.
be honest, when I did watch it. I said, all right, I'll sit down and watch this thing and see what they have to say. And then, and there was like, it felt like a little more of an attack on Hank than a show about this
Mm.
character's impact on the, Indian community, but also I remember a sequence where, Hari he was talking to his parents about the character and trying to get their, he clearly, like, kinda wanted them to tell, like, about how Apu had, negatively impacted their life, and they didn't seem to have big problems with
No.
and it felt like he was kinda nudging him a little bit. Yeah, but didn't you
It seemed like his parents were roasting him at some stage as well, saying, "You sound like Apu today."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Apu was very rarely the butt of the joke as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a fun character, and I think all the writers, like, miss writing him in the show. There I think that ultimately there was kinda no way was, like, decided on how to handle it, so it just kinda the character kinda fell away. But, it was a, great character, and I thought Hank did a great job.
Hank has been outspoken. He says he would never want to voice him again. But I do think if they did find another voice actor who could find this, who do a similar voice, I think you could bring him back. I think enough time has
Mm.
passed. Bring back Apu.
I'd be open to
Yeah,
it. I'd
yes.
be open to it. It is, like, weird sometimes when voices change in animated shows. I remember as a kid, watching the Flintstones, all the time, and then there was at one point, they changed the voice of Barney Rubble, and I remember as a kid, I was probably 10 years old, it really pissed me off. I just like it's like, "That's not Barney Rubble."
Well, my kids are big Muppet fans, and the current voice of Kermit, God bless him, sounds nothing like Henson or Steve, the previous voice of Kermit. And
Oh,
my kids watched some recent Muppet movie, a Haunted Mansion special, something Disney Plus, and my son went, "That's not Kermit. That's the because the guy that voices Kermit now is the guy that played a Kermit villain in a recent movie, and it's the Kermit voice, but it's got a bit of a funny tone to it." And that's just the voice he uses for Kermit now. And he's going, "That's not Kermit. That's the imposter from the movie." I'm like, "No, no, son, that's the real Kermit now. He's just gonna have to deal with it."
Yeah, I think, particularly when you grow up watching something, the voices just get embedded in your
Yeah.
head,
Oh,
and this
absolutely.
is how they sound, to you, and so and, we don't like change. Yeah,
And
so
perhaps even more so with voice acting as opposed to physical acting. I mean, everyone goes on about, well, not everyone, because Bewitched is not quite in the zeitgeist these days, but the whole, we had Dick York and now we've got Dick Sargent, or the other way around. I
Yeah.
remember never being that bunched up about it. I mean, I would come home from school and watch Bewitched in an afternoon. It's like, okay, well, now it's Darren A as opposed to Darren B. But yeah, I think with an animated, with voice actors or on an animated show, it's kind of like, yeah, that's not hitting right. Yeah, that's throwing off my internal barometer.
Yeah, and I hate to disagree with you, but I hated Dick Sargent.